influence people through what you do that will go throughout the generations. And not only that, you duplicate it. And then there's always room for improvement. So with that, even God's word, through what you do, still stands today. With what he when he said for the light to come, light is still here. His word endures forever. Mm-hmm. And even in that, we duplicate ourselves. And it's always an improvement. We come to a higher level of consciousness. We expand, we grow, and then we carry that on. We pass that on. And that's just the way that I like to look at it. So with that, right, today we're going to talk about reinventing yourself and regeneration. And when I looked up regeneration, I don't think I have it on this one. Well, anyway, it just means to renew, to rebuild, to redo. Mm-hmm. And then a scripture that I found. You remember the scripture?
Psalms 51.
Your favorite one? No, it's not your favorite. But
yeah, Psalms 51:10.
Mm-hmm. It's create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. So there are three important things in this scripture. There's three important points: create, clean heart, and renew a right spirit. So with that, that's instructions to reinvent yourself. Now, create is to produce, to bring into being from nothing, to cause to exist.
Read that again, please.
To produce, to bring into being from nothing, to cause to exist. Shape, form, transform. So there's something that you have in your head. It starts as a thought that you want to bring into manifestation. So from thoughts, before anything can happen, you have to have it, the blueprint, you have to have the design, you have to have the plan. And to make that into a manifestation, you have to take action. You can't just sit on it. It has to be worked, because faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't act on it, nothing's going to happen. And with that, you bring your reality. So you create the world that you want to be in. You create the world for you, no matter what's going on outside, no matter what all these other things that's going on, distractions, whatever it is, you can't let that happen. So let's create. All right, and then it's the clean heart. Did you have anything to add for create? No? Okay. So with clean heart is the inner part of anything, the middle or interior, the seat of the understanding. So the heart. So with the heart, with understanding the heart, it's a part of your mind. Because you ever thought, your mind has a heart. Your heart has a mind of its own. Mm-hmm. So it's not only this mind, but it's also this mind. You react and you make decisions based on how you're feeling. You make it based on what's inside the innermost, your innermost desires, your innermost passions, your innermost beings, your will that you have. Because for yourself.
The heart, you said that the heart is connected
to your soul.
Yeah.
Your mind, your will, and your emotions is connected to your heart. It's a part of that alignment of your soul, your being. And which made me to believe that you have to train your heart. You have to train your mind. And I came across this scripture. It's Proverbs 18:15, and it says, "An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge." So with that, your heart has knowledge. Your heart thinks.
Yeah, and if it's your mind, then it's also accurate. You know how you get that feeling, that instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then the way that you do this, you train your thoughts, and just that's in the practice of cleansing it. In the practice of cleansing it, you train it. You train your thoughts. You train the way that you think, and you cast down all negative thought patterns, those ways and those mindsets that don't serve you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe you had something to add to your heart.
Oh, you're talking about what part are you talking about?
Meditation.
Oh, we're talking about the actual action to cleansing the heart. Okay, you gotta say that. So when it comes to cleansing the heart, there's a process towards healing for people that have like bitterness or a closed heart, a broken heart, anything like that. You can actually cleanse it. So first, there's actual like rituals. Oh, sorry, are you on the mic? Oops. There are rituals that you can do, like cleansing the heart rituals. But first, I wanted to just read the definition of what a ritual is. Let's see. So, because we've done rituals so many times, like rituals are all throughout the church. So I don't know. People are afraid of that word. Once you say ritual, you're like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. When you say it out here in the world, it's like spooky.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, ritual is, it says, pertaining to rites, consisting of rites as ritual service or sacrifices. Prescribing rites as the ritual law. And this is in that 1800 dictionary. And it also says rituals, a book containing the rites to be observed or the manner of performing divine service in a particular church, diocese, or the like. And I had to look that up. And that is, the diocese is a district under the pastoral care of a bishop in the Christian church. And so I just also wanted to say what rites is. Rites, R-I-T-E. And that means the manner of performing divine or solemn service as established by law, precept, or custom, formal act of religion or other solemn duty. The rites of the Israelites were numerous and expensive. The rites of modern churches are more simple. So those are examples of rites. So anyway, there are rituals you can do to unblock the closed heart or heart chakra. So sometimes you can experience a heart block or closed chakra or just things of that nature. You know when your heart isn't right. People don't have to tell you. Some people may bring it to your attention that you're a little closed off, but a lot of times people say, because I've been through a lot, they're like this because something happened. So it happens through trauma. It can happen through grief, loss of any sort, or heartache, heartbreak. And because of those things, it can cause that the act of these things happening to your heart would come through in like bitterness, resentment. Sometimes you feel disconnected, loneliness. Relationships are very tense. You don't know how to process your emotions. You could be very harsh, critical, blaming yourself. You could become either codependent or too independent, is what I read. So anyway, there are ways that you can heal this blockage, because it's not really good if the reaction to it is all this negative stuff. You're not operating your highest self because you allow trauma or unforgiveness or your life. You're not able to progress because you're not able to receive love either, because your heart is blocked off, and love is the greatest of all. So, so to heal, the main thing is to bring more love into your life, starting with yourself. So, you can love on yourself and do more self-care. And once you start to really do that with yourself, then you're able to extend it to other people. So you heal by dealing with yourself first. So the ritual is more like, meditation, kind of like ground yourself in a space and close your eyes, um, get quiet, make sure your surroundings are not distracting. And then, put your hand over your heart chakra or your chest and do circular movements and breathe. Should breathe. Make sure you regulate your breathing and do some inhales. Like inhale for 3 seconds, exhale for 3 seconds, inhale for 6 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, inhale for 9 seconds, hold it and release it. So really you're inhaling, you're holding, and you're releasing for those numbers. But also, as you're doing those things, you can imagine basically a better life. And I know Reverend Ike has said something like that. Basically, your imagination, you imagine the life you want. Once you continuously put these positive things in your subconscious, then they'll become your reality. So it really is important that this is a little side chat, but it's important that you're putting the right things in your eye gate, ear gate daily, because some of that stuff can come out subconsciously. And I know that just recently. Like I woke up in my subconscious, I had like a show in my head that I had been watching, and I'm like, why is this coming through? Like this is whack, So anyway, the more you imagine, the more you watch and all of that, that can get created into your life, or manifest into your life. So anyway, when you're doing this ritual, you're sitting, closed eyes, focused, imagining great thoughts about yourself. And let me think. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at my notes. So you imagine that you're cleansing and clearing out your heart, basically. And, picture great things. Like, you ever use a guided meditation when they tell you to, like, imagine the light dropping in and resonating and oozing out of you, radiating. So imagine all of that great stuff, you know? Yeah. So
actually, you could actually feel it too. You start feeling it. And you could feel the light.
Yeah, it's a download. So anyway, you do this. This is part of your work. So you do this until you feel, for as long as you want, and until you feel a breakthrough. So even as you do that, and you can go move in other directions. So I'm still learning about this. So some things is like the inner, you do a circular motion. I don't know. You go the opposite way to expel the bad out. So so then your heart chakra's opening. Well, you imagine that your heart chakra's opening. Then, you know, you can see it as like a flower blooming. You can see it as sunlight. And whatever emotions come up, you sit with it and you kind of like deal with it. So there's some stuff that may come up you didn't even know. Like you don't even know why you're bitter, but you know you are. But it may be something that your dad said to you when you were 10, you know, but as that come up, you release it. You're like, oh, I didn't even know I was holding on to that. So you're like, oh, it no longer serves me. Expel it, you know? So, but basically, after you're done and you get your release, you should, for one, feel your spirits uplift and whatever came up, you can write about it, or if that's part of your release, if it's too traumatic, you have to keep doing this. But also you can, after that, so say you release all that doesn't serve you. So then you begin your affirmations, starting with your self-love. So you can journal, you can write down some positive affirmations.
Yeah, and that runs into renewing your spirit during the affirmations.
Yeah. So, so you ground yourself, and you should basically feel that your heart chakra is now open and clear. So then you say that you're open to love. You're open to receive love. You're open to deeply loving yourself. You're you have more self-acceptance. You have peace. You have compassion, kindness towards others. You receive all good things that are for you. You know, and this really does help. And that's just a heart chakra ritual, but anything you do with a purpose is a ritual. I mean, is going to help. So like, I know when I went through grief, I couldn't find the right means. I was trying to do everything. I was trying to like meditate and all of that, but I didn't have like what I know now. But I also like just people praying for me helped. But when they prayed, it wasn't just, oh, you pray for me. They hit the targets that I didn't know were there, and that I couldn't speak out. So
called it out.
Yeah, it's like that. So it's like, but with this heart chakra ritual, you do the work yourself. And you're not relying on someone else to do it. Because like I said, mine was a journey. It had to be the right person. So I was in the church, but I wasn't being served at my church, the church that I went to. And it took me to actually go to another church. And actually I was just visiting, and they were like on point, like hitting the key targets. So that's when I literally could feel my heart, like it's like I was split, and I could feel myself zip up. Like I tell that story because that's really is true. So it's like lifted, you know, and then you're better. Yeah. So then it's like, you know, no more bitterness, no anger, And I'm not saying like grief don't go a long way. Like it's not a process, but grief can take you under, depression. Like I was more determined to actively fight that. Like I did not want to be clinically mentally depressed because I worked with clients who were, and it's not fun. And it's a legit real situation. I know it's all psychological now that I know these other things, but it still is a real situation for a lot of people. So I was really like adamant about doing the work. So yes. So that's basically what I had about that.
Yeah, that's very good. I'm glad you got to share that. So with you going into, that was a good transition into renewing the right spirit, renewing the right spirit. With renewing, it means to renovate, to restore to a former state or to a good state after decay, deprivation, to rebuild, to repair. So renew. We always have to evaluate ourselves, evaluate us on the inside and on the outside too. And restoring, renovating, that's upgrading, making something better, addition to, or sometimes it's to take something away. And I try to do that a lot, asking other people's opinion, their viewpoint, to see what they see maybe that I'm not catching.
About yourself?
About myself or about something else. Okay. It could be either one, but you have those people that you're comfortable around that you can ask those questions. It's just like you just can't ask anybody. You got to ask somebody that really knows you and that won't be that person that's just always whatever you say, it's golden. You got to have that person, or hopefully you have that person. If you do, you're blessed that they won't just tell you anything just because it sounds good.
Thought about that word.
Which one?
Nothing. Go ahead.
So, yeah. So it's okay. Corrective criticism. It's okay, and you have to be at a mature state and to be able to receive it. And then sometimes you don't want to receive. You have to have the wisdom to know what's genuine and really intent from the heart, and then it could be just people that are just off.
Yeah.
Maybe jealousy or something else that's
critical,
rooted.
Just malicious. Yeah, the intentions are not in the right place.
And I'm always trying to research and trying to find ways outside of myself. Education is extremely important. You may think that you know everything about something and you may feel like you're an expert, but it could change. And Akeem knows, especially with what he does, it's always something that's changing. And just to keep up with the world, to keep up with what's going on, these structures, these systems that's set into place, you always have to search for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on different things. And as perfect as you might think something is, it always can be upgraded. But don't let that discourage you from starting something.
Right, that's good.
And then what else do I have? Okay, yeah. So with that, the right spirit, right is firm, perfect, established to make perfect. So you're just continuing working until it's to a stable and established place. But the way that things is always moving, constantly moving. So you get stable one place, but then you see something, like I didn't notice this greater, something greater, So
well, you're never done.
No.
Like you're at a level, and there's always another level you can get to.
Yeah, it's like with you could use a job for an example. Before you get comfortable, you're like, okay, well, there's something else out there, or with a home, it might be perfect for you now, but your family grows, you have to move on.
Mm-hmm.
If with your business, it might be perfect, everything's running smooth, but you got to expand.
Right.
So just know that it's always a healthy way to always reinvent, to always regenerate, to always rebuild. It's a healthy way to do that.
Yeah. So,
and yeah. So, and you already said about the affirmations. Did you want to go deeper into that or no? Okay. So it's just continuing, just upgrading your mindset.
yeah. So basically, what was it? Create,
Create, cleanse your heart,
and renew.
Renew.
Mm-hmm. Create, cleanse, and renew.
Mm-hmm.
All of that out of one scripture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably it, and I'm sure it was more that could have came out of it, but
that was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, just got another scripture that came to my mind is you gotta set your mind on things that is above and not things down here and below.
I came to the string.
So things that are eternal and not temporary. So we got a key here.
Hold on, we can't hear you. Hold on. How does this work?
No, it's my bad. I have my mic muted.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me check something before
Welcome.
Yeah. All right. Welcome. Well, thanks for letting me in. So I'm kind of monitoring two screens. I got it streaming on my channel, YouTube, and then and you guys are streaming on yours. I think we're doing pretty good with all the technology.
Okay.
So while y'all were talking, did y'all read? Because I was kind of distracted with, trying to, get this all together. But did y'all read Psalms 51:10?
Yes.
Okay, that's what y'all read? Okay, I thought so. Yeah, so it says, create a clean heart, oh God, right? So a lot of us want to attribute that to something outside of us. But that's a request coming from the inside of you to create a clean heart, because it starts with you and the change. And then the divine mind, God, connects to that change that you have in you, and then it opens you up. Like Jessica, you said you had an experience, but that experience started with you from the inside. It never comes from the outside. Everything is in us. And a lot of times we're looking for this and looking for that to do it, but you had a searching from the inside, and then you found something or some place that you made a connection to that completed that cycle or that current of spirit. So everything starts with us. There's nothing outside of us that is affecting us. Everything is affecting us from the inside, and we are trying to blame it on the outside. Like you was talking about, Tasia, about people might have the wrong intentions, jealous, whatever. See, that's on the inside of them. They see something great in you and they want to destroy it because they don't feel greatness in them. And that's what the more you guys do this work, you're going to run into that. But that has nothing to do with you and what you're doing. You're not doing anything wrong. It's them trying to make you think you're doing something wrong, to make you doubt. That's like when Christ was meditating or he was fasting, then after he fasted, the devil came and tried to tempt him. After he did all that good work, he tried to tempt him with all these things. We deal with that all the time. And if our heart and our minds are clean and always seeking for positive, we'll see that stuff coming a mile away, and it won't affect us. It took a while for me to learn that. I don't have to react when people say something about me. I don't have to, just let them talk. Because actions speak louder than words anyway. So,
Right.
and a lot of times that could be your enemy or I don't consider people enemies. I just, saying, hey, we just having, going through a process. But even those that consider themselves your enemy will be a blessing to you, because the more they talk about you, what do? They bring people, oh, let's see what this guy is about. Let's see what's going on, and, but that's good. Your topic is great.
They'll be your footstools with your enemies.
Oh yeah, they will definitely, and they will play right into your hands so easily, and you just sit there. You don't have to do anything. There is no such thing as a fight. It really isn't. When we fight people, whether it be mentally, physically, spiritually, it's really an illusion. It's these things we create in our minds. And you just sit there and just watch people just struggling and striving after the wind to come at you. And like, what is all this for? What are you gaining after this? You're right. Okay, you're right. So, okay, now you're right. What's next? And I'm learning that it's not important to even be right. Like, okay, everybody's entitled to feel like they know what they're talking about. What happens, the end results is what's going to tell you what the truth is. The truth never changes. So,
right.
Yeah. So great topic. And let's see, you guys, on my side, I got some comments. People were making comments and
oh really?
Yeah, let me see. What they are. Switching between. Arlene Lopez said great topic. And she says it's all about peace and love no matter what the other person is going through. At the end, they have to join you in peace and love, no emotions. I agree with that. Love will conquer all things. It may not seem like it because our ego wants to, go through that struggle. But at the end of the day, when long term, it conquers everything. It really does. And we have to always be mindful of that. We don't have to go back and forth with people. Just continue trying to be good, do good for ourselves, mainly do good within ourselves for ourselves. Because if you're not doing yourself right, you're not going to be able to help anybody else out.
Right.
Yeah. That's all I had to say on that. Y'all said everything. I was trying to struggle to find something to say. Y'all said it all. I was like, okay, how can I add to this? Y'all did a great job. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on anyway. Your input was welcome.
You're welcome. You guys would make a great church.
Oh, do we want that burden?
I don't know. You might. Sometimes, you may not be looking for, but it might be your calling. I don't know. You're here for a reason.
Yes, and the ultimate thing is to leave the earth fulfilling your purpose.
It was just a year ago. We were doing a seminar.
Yeah.
Right.
When was the date? I don't remember the date.
Why do we keep doing this? We keep forgetting the exact date. It's in my planner.
I think, was it February, March?
Had to be before March.
It was February. We went to Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no, we went to Illinois.
I think that was January or December, something like that.
Yeah, it was like December or something.
Mm-hmm.
But our seminar.
Yeah, our seminar.
Was February.
It was February.
Oh, yeah, it was February. So just over a year. And now you guys, 1 year later, doing your own show inspiring people. Who would have thought? Right?
Who would
It was not. See how life just takes you down these roads. You have something else in mind, and then okay, here's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's just life, and we have to roll with it. A lot of people are not successful because they don't see these opportunities.
Right.
Or they want to wait. Oh, it's not the right time. It's not, I got this to do, and okay, then it never happens. Because if you don't roll with it right in that moment,
right,
it may not come up again. And if it does come up again, that whoever offered you the opportunity might have a change of heart.
right.
Things you start, because things evolve over time, and then then it was you don't fit in now. Now we like the other day, I use the Bible all the time. I've always used the Bible since I've been doing my show, since 2015. But someone that took it upon themselves in the chat and put, "Oh, you're using the church to get benefits." And know what I say to that? Yes, I am. Why not? Why not use setting up a church to get a benefit? I'm getting benefit from God, the God in me, God out. That's where I'm getting my benefits from, instead of getting governmental benefits, right? Okay. I mean, people do not pay attention to what they're saying.
You're going to depend on the government, or are you going to depend on God?
Right. There you go. I'd rather depend on the God than depend on some governmental entity that can, have all kind of hidden clauses in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then they said, "Oh, last I remember, you were anti-Christian." I never said I was anti-Christian. Now, I was raised as a Christian, Jehovah's Witness. I knocked on the doors daily as a kid, gave my first speech in the Kingdom Hall when I was 8 years old. That's ingrained in me. Mm-hmm. That's not going anywhere. That's that knowledge and that teaching is not going. It's still in it. Now, do I agree with the teachings? All of it? No. And for Christianity on the whole, there's some things I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean I'm anti-Christian just because I disagree with some parts of it. That doesn't mean I'm anti-Muslim because I disagree with some parts of it, or any other religion. I'm not anti any religion. I just believe that the current state of religious thoughts are putting people in a box where they can't make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the Christ that I know, and all of the Buddha and all of these was saying, no, you can make your own decisions. You are to have dominion over all things. And their texts say that consistently. But for some reason, when it comes from the pulpit or the platform, it comes out differently. You're helpless, and you're this ratchet being, and you're this filthy rag, and and you need everything. Why would God tell you to have dominion over all things if you weren't capable to have dominion over all things? That's a clear decree that we are supposed to have dominion. Dominion means ownership. I read that definition the other day. It means ownership. So that means have ownership over your life. And in your ownership of your life, then the divine mind had put in place that once you do that, then everything else will be added to you. Mm-hmm. You'll get it. So
have dominion, replenish,
we're supposed to be way better off. Mm-hmm. If I had this kind of connection a long time ago, man, I feel like I would be so much further, because I'm just now getting a grasp on what this really is. Like what this, think about it. I mean, like you said, Steve Jobs invented the iPhone. It's a thought. So we always think it's for somebody else. So if you have these things in your head, these inventions, these resources, these software, whatever it is, then you can do it too, different.
Mhm.
So it's like we just feel
Now, Steve Jobs almost went out of business when he started up Apple.
Mhm.
Because the PCs, the IBM compatible PCs took over. And for a while, because, you know, with IBM compatible PCs, which stands for personal computer, you could buy different parts and make them yourself. See, to this day, you cannot make your own Apple product or computer, right?
Right.
But he stood fast with that idea because they said, no, that's not what people want to do their own thing. And that went for a while and it kind of killed the monkey. Because when I was in high school, my first year in high school, they were using Apple IICs. That's what the school had. And I had to hack games, and then we used to play games in our computer lab. I was such a nerd. I used to cut class just to go to the library across town, midtown, to play on the computer back then. But but he stuck with this idea that his product was going to be unique.
right.
And despite everyone telling him, no, you got to join the PC fad, he said, no, nobody's going to make these. We're going to be the only ones. And look where you are. People are paying. The average MacBook is $1,000. The phone, $1,200. And people are buying it.
Yeah.
And they want it.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't an Apple phone fan until I had so many Androids. They just kept blowing up on me and shutting down. So I finally got an Apple, and I've been an Apple man ever since. I got an Apple MacBook. You know, I can go to each device and there's the same files. You know, so I think it's well worth the money, the value. You know, it does has its downfalls, but other than that, just imagine. So that's what I'm saying. If you have an idea in your spirit that you feel strong about, you go with it. Don't change it. You know, we get advice. Oh, our loved ones do mean well. They're not trying to hurt us, but you're the only one that got that vision, the way you see the vision. So you got to move in it, and you have to ignore everything else. With everybody, even when it's not looking so well, even when it's not popular, just stay there and you will be successful. Because remember, it's your thoughts, it's your mind that is creating it. And once you understand that science, because it is a science, you can do anything. And one thing that's powerful about women, you guys are created to be expanders. And let me explain. You plant a seed inside the womb, and 9 months later, there's a being, male or female. The only job the man has is to ignite that egg and decide the sex of the child, male or female. That's it. After that, it's up to the woman to expand. Yeah. So that means everything y'all touch is supposed to grow. And actually that is happening. You know, when you look at things, women do control the tempo of life. Now, the problem we have is television, mainstream media, and all kind of other entertainment has given women a false sense of identity. So they're expanding the wrong thing. Until, you know, you can just look at your own house, how you guys run your house. Y'all run your house like old school Big Mama used to do, Family Day. You know, that type of stuff is going to have a profound effect on your daughter. And the children that everyone around you, that's gonna have a lasting effect. Your daughter grows older, tells you she's gonna be like, yeah, I remember when we had Family Day, and she's gonna be seeking that in her relationships, in her family. You see, she's gonna want that to continue, and we need to bring stuff like that back.
Well, yeah, and we haven't been taught how great women are. You know, with all through history, through time, like women were silenced. You know, that's why there's a lot of feminists these days, because it's like,
that's true.
Power to the women, because now they're like realizing their power. You know, also, I mean, whether good or bad to come with it, but it's just like women are just now, and still it's a long way to go, but they're just now realizing their power.
Here's what in this society, the way it was created and founded, it was to silence the woman. Even in the religious schools of thought, the new form of Christianity. The old Christianity didn't do that. You see, we like to look at Christianity from the point of view of this country's and the European point of view of Christianity. You got to remember, the book was revised and it took a lot of books out because there's a lot of books that were authored by females in the old Bibles. You know, the Bible would be like this big or more volumes of it if they didn't take so many books out, right? So in our culture, people of color, women were valued. That's why they held title to land. They controlled everything, even though the women control who the chief of the tribe was going to be. Mm-hmm. That was their choice. Now, what happened is in the European culture, they always wanted to suppress their women. And you can see that. Like, look at horror movies. The way they just totally mutilate the white woman in those movies. Like, who can actually think of that of their woman seeing her being cut up on screen and just totally ravaged like that? We weren't making movies like that, but we picked up those bad habits of watching television and getting caught up in their ideas. Because truth, when they said women didn't get the right to vote to a certain year, right? But in our societies, women were voting. See, when you understand what the Constitution is and where it came from, our women voted. They had equal standing in the government. That when we was running things, but they suppressed all of that. And because they suppressed all of that and there was no example for us to follow, then the whole, like you said, women's lib movement came aboard.
Yeah, and everything, all the way to the skin tone. Like anything that is bad, whatever, we already know there's a story behind it. It's considered bad. It's like whatever they tried to silence, hide, it's just like diminished the melanated woman instead of it just therefore diminished their being and their power, not even understanding their source because it was so great, or it is so great. But we know how to operate. You know, we can, if we're made of the stars and the moon and everything else, like that is power, you know, and if we could learn how to resonate with that, download that, and grow, the universe is vast.
But now, sisters, like, you remember that show, Extreme Couponing?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the show, you mainly see white women couponing, right? But guess who created that?
Who?
Sisters. My mother was doing extreme couponing in the 70s, okay? Her and her friends would get together, have their little coupon parties and shit, and do the double days and the double coupon this, and now they made a show about it, and guess who gets credit for it? But who created that? That was a need, right? That was one, because I just had a revelation today, right? Because we had a discussion about, Beth and I had a discussion about, you know, women having to work. Then I started to recall back on my childhood. I said, well, my father worked, but my mother worked whenever she wanted to. She had 6 children. She couldn't work like that, right? So, and out of those 6, it was a set of twins. So there's no way she was working like that, right? So I can remember my mother worked, you know, months here, a couple of months there. She was a nurse. So she worked here. You know, nurses could get jobs whenever, you know, whenever they feel like it. So at least, again, she had so much experience, she get a job, they hired her. So she, you know, whenever we needed a little extra money, she would go to work. But for the most part, my mother was a stay-at-home mom. Nice. Then I started looking at the rest of the congregation. I know about 6 other families that the wives stayed home because everybody had 4+ children. You know, so ain't no way they, you know, they was gonna go to work. And at that time, there was daycares wasn't a thing. You know, it was either you let a relative watch your children. So I'm like, in our community, at least in our congregation there were a lot of stay-at-home moms. where the dad came home, made all of the money, and they weren't 6-figure incomes, but they made it work, you know. But they had to do that. The whole reason why I'm saying is, so they had to figure out, okay, he made good money, but it's not enough. So how do we save? So the women got together and they created this couponing thing. Okay, let's put these coupons together and we could save on these groceries. Sisters created that. But they're never gonna no one's gonna give them credit for it because it's unknown. It was in our community. See, they saw what we was doing and they picked it up and they made a show out of it. You know?
And that was a crazy show.
Right.
I'll never forget the guy that had like a semi truck full of stuff. It's almost like he got the whole store for free.
Right.
He had jeans. I couldn't understand it. I was like, what in the world?
See, now couponing today is kind of now you can only get junk food with it.
It's definitely different. Coupons. I know.
Hyper processed foods, but back in the day, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that at all. Our refrigerator stayed full, you know, but my mom would come in, and then when she moved south, there was the sisters over there with coupon. My mother still does it, actually. She still does the couponing.
You know, I read a book years ago called Strapped, and it was just talking about how times have changed from when our grandparents lived. Like, the minimum wage was created so that a man could take care of his family. Now, minimum wage you can't take care of yourself.
You can't live off of, no, you can't do, a single person can't live off of that.
Yeah.
If you don't have children.
Even financial aid back then was different. Like my mother or my great aunts, all of them, that generation, it was made to actually help you and to keep you out of debt, basically. All that stuff was to help, and all of that has changed. Like, it's just amazing how it's changed. Like, for someone to have been able to take care of their family without a college education off a minimum wage is a huge difference. And that's not that long ago. That was just 2 generations ago.
That wasn't, that wasn't. And that then the family all worked together to find solutions.
Families worked together. Marriages lasted longer.
Yeah, my parents are still together. I'm 51. They're 51 years in.
Yeah, my grandparents were they were like 50 something before my grandfather passed away. Like, it's just crazy. I remember we had their 50th anniversary party. But like, marriages lasted. Don't know what they went through, but it still stayed together.
And not that it was perfect, because my mom picked up and left once, I think, for a few days, and my father, I heard him on the phone begging her to come back.
It worked. I mean, it lasted. You know?
It didn't last long. You know, she would just go and like, oh, she's over at a friend's house up the street. She was at one of the sister's house from the church for a few days. But that's pretty much the only time I ever remember that happening. You know, my mom got upset with my dad, and he was watching TV through the TV over. But that just stuff happens. But she was pregnant at the time. Don't mess with a pregnant woman.
Don't mess with her.
I got body slammed. I got picked up like WWE because I was whining about something. The mother got tired. She said, "I'm tired of this," and picked me up like this, like mic drop. Boom! I hit my back, and only thing that was really hurt was my feelings, because I was totally embarrassed. She just did like an Incredible Hulk. Oh, pregnant! She was pregnant with my brother Greg, and she just boom. Today they be locking people up for that. But shoot. Yeah, back then you didn't play with your parents. You didn't say, you don't talk back. You just listen. But and I think we need to get back to some of that type of discipline.
Some of it.
Yeah, some of it. You know, they wasn't always right because my father didn't know how to let
I
up on that
learned
belt.
like how important it is to allow children to express themselves or to
Yeah.
teach them how to properly express themselves. They don't know how, like, especially when they're from toddler to like 10. It's just like, who are you talking to? But it's like at the same time, what's wrong? Express yourself. But don't talk to me.
Yeah, but sometimes they be expressing themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time, and they're just rude.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to double take when I hear a child in the store. Gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
No hands raised on
there's no hands raised?
No on Blog Talk, so
y'all need to press that like button, y'all. Oh, you know, y'all didn't open my mic up, so they probably couldn't hear me on Blog Talk.
Oh, they can hear you.
Oh, they can? Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
You should be able to hear it. Yeah, they can hear you. We have it set up over here.
Oh, it is coming through because I got it on my phone here. Okay, it's coming through.
Don't confuse me. They would have hung up a long time ago if they couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't know. Y'all got to set up fancy.
We got to.
Somehow y'all got that to work with me coming through.
Oh, we just use our phone.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a few. We got 4 Apple gadgets going.
Oh.
No, it's 5.
I need to know what y'all using to do that because with one mic unmuted. Oh, that's cool. If y'all got that to work, because I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, just have a phone.
I was stuck for a little bit. It took group.
Without
2 minds is better than 1. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, this is cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of other things, creative things to do with this here.
So, what else y'all got?
For our subjects today?
Yeah.
Well, nothing else. Just what else going on in our lives. We're still working. Tasia's still working on her credit repair. I'm still working on the same.
Yeah, you still pushing it. I know.
You'll get it. I don't get it.
You will get it. Just keep going. Keep pushing.
I just don't.
It's going to happen.
I just don't get it. But it's, nothing's on my credit.
It's their job. It's their job. See, the letter you got the other day is a Jedi mind trick to get you to recontract and get you to off your game. Just keep responding. You got to remember, they're not answering anything you're sending. They're just sending stuff.
I know.
And so that means until they do that, they cannot do anything else. So those little letters are just distractions.
Just one single letter. I'm just
yeah. It's just those are distractions, and it's probably a robo letter just went out automatically. Because some people will see that and call them up and start engaging in them with them. Don't call them, because with third-party debt collectors, once they verify your name and who you are, they call that verifying the debt, and then they'll start it all over. Exactly, you see, so you don't talk to them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I'm working on that. For an update for those that don't know, I had third-party debt with my student loans. So that has been removed from my credit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still just trying to finalize. I need a final paper or something.
No, you're not going to get a final paper. You're not going to get some, hey, we wiped it off. What's going to happen? The credit report is going to say it all.
What says it? So I guess
that's it. That's all you ever going to get from them. They're never going to see, you know what? We're going to stop coming after you. Nope. They're not going to do that. The credit report is what's going to tell you what's happening. Because lawfully, they can't even report that against you because they have not answered you.
They have not. I was like, y'all never answer these bullets, but they telling me what I did do back whenever.
That's why with that, you put no contract on it and send it right back.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. You put it back in their court. Because in 30 days, they might try to do something else if you don't respond to that. Those are all tricks. The IRS does the same thing. They'll send something and you got to respond. You got to rebut. And if you don't, they consider that verified.
Verifying.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you're sending letters by certified mail. So you have a record. How are they sending you these letters?
Not certified.
Regular. So you there's no proof they even sent that to you.
Right.
You see? See, now you're starting to see through the illusion of what they're trying to create. See, you looking at the words on the page and saying, oh, they're saying it. No, those are just, if it didn't come to you by certified mail, that means they're not about to do nothing. But they're just trying to intimidate. That's it. Well, and they're not going to send nothing by certified mail because then that's a record of, well, we're trying to force something that we can't force. And now you could sue them for that because you've already told them to stop contacting you about the debt.
Right.
You see?
So yes, guys, that's what I'm doing. And the third-party debt process is on our website, jtmuse.com. And that's how I got remedy for clearing off this stuff off of my credit. And still just doing a little run around with them a little bit, but definitely didn't take me as long as it took me, as long as I've been paying them. Mm-hmm. So when you know you're right.
I'm trying to look for that. You sent that. Did you send that letter to me in a separate text, or was it a group
I think
one? Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because when you sent him, I was on the road. I think that.
Oh yeah. And it was just that, and then they just they like copied my stuff and sent it to me. I don't know.
Copied what you sent to them?
Yeah, that was the first time they did that.
Oh, that's just whatever.
And then look at the very bottom though. It says collections. So that's
what I was looking for. I'm trying to pull it up so I can see what it says on the bottom. Because that sometimes they'll say, "Oh, this is for informational purposes only."
Let me see.
I see.
Oh, it's not that.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll send it to you. You found it?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay.
They talk about Peters versus BMW, whatever. What? Oh, I see why I didn't see this before. Use of fraudulent documents in an attempt to discharge your loan. What? You didn't send them anything but the third-party debt collector. Carson with reported UCC filings will be. You didn't do anything, and this doesn't even apply to you. This doesn't even apply to you. This is a letter they send to people that be trying to do those money orders and discharge. You didn't do that. This doesn't even apply to you.
No.
Right. So yeah, whatever.
Like a letter or something.
Right. This is just a letter they pulled out their hat. And then it says collection agency. What I'm trying to look for is who signed this letter. Huh?
Anybody sign it?
You mean like actually signed it?
Yeah.
That's just how
it says. Thank you, post claim assistant. This it's not addressed from anybody. This is garbage. Yeah. I'm like, what? I'm sitting like, oh, I escape your. You didn't send anything like this. Put no contract and send that letter right back to him. I don't know where they get that from. Unless you've been watching other videos. Did tell me. Yes, let me do this money order. No, they're playing with you. They're playing with. You know, I didn't see that part. I see why you sent it to me. I did not see that. I saw the whole. Okay, this is student loan. Then I saw the stuff on the bottom, but I didn't see that wording. There. Like what? Yeah.
That's the first time.
Just put no contract and send them the third party debt collector letter all over again. They don't have nothing. All right. Good show, y'all.
All right. Well, our announcements. Go ahead.
Yeah, announcements. So for the shows, we have one. We're gonna start with Sunday first with Beth, Independent Thinkers,
at 7 p.m.
And then Monday's Bombay, 7 p.m. Bombay show. Tuesday is Akeem, the True Tuesday show at 7. Wednesday, Solomon's Temple, 10 a.m. And then
that's
the Divine Connection show, 7 p.m.
Thursdays. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
Have it. All right, remind me. I have to send you guys the driver's license webinar too. Forgive me for not sending an invite to you guys.
Right. That's okay.
I'm
glad it went well though.
It did. It went extremely well. It was it was over what I wanted, but a lot of people wanted to get in. So yeah, it went well, very well. So that's available on my website. Soon it'll be available on your website. The driver's license 2 webinar. It comes with the injunction template, commissioner letter, and the actual explanatory statements for your driver's license, and also a cheat sheet showing you exactly what to do along with the video. So, all right. And it's instant download. So I made it so I don't have to send it out.
Oh, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm upgrading my technology.
Yeah, you are.
Right.
Good.
Upgrade.
All right, y'all.
All right. Well, peace. Have a good night.
Peace.